Hey, it's Ian Altman. So you just came back from a great meeting with a prospect. Man, the meeting was supposed to only last 20 minutes, and instead it lasted an hour. And as soon as we got together, man, the two of us, we just clicked. And it went so well, we've agreed that next week we're gonna meet again, which would be a phenomenal meeting if it had been set up on Match.com. But this isn't dating, this is business. So you have to ask yourself, are you going on business dates or are you doing business? If you want to make sure that you focus your meetings on the right piece of information that will tell you whether an opportunity is real or not real, then take a look at the same-side quadrant journals. Now, I've had clients asking me for this for years, and I kept saying, oh, you can do it on your own. And I guess I listened long enough that we produced these rock-solid journals that you can use when you meet with potential clients. And let me step you through exactly how this works to maintain your focus on those aspects that will allow you to do business instead of just going on business dates. Let's see how you'd use the same-side quadrant journal in a meeting. Use the quadrants as a template for taking notes. Let's use an example of someone who tells me they want help with their sales and marketing. I might say, starting in the upper left quadrant, what inspired you to meet with us? What were you hoping to solve? You'll notice that the prompt at the top of the quadrants has those specific questions as a reminder. I'll take notes in that quadrant. They might say, well, our sales haven't been going well, or our team focuses on price instead of value, or we feel like we're wasting a lot of time on bad pursuits. In order to get from issue to impact, I could simply ask, so what happens if you don't solve that? They might say, well, I could lose my job. We're going to lose market share. But that's not specific enough. So then I'll ask, really, how much market share? Well, we could lose 5 or 10%. Really, what have you done over the last couple of years to try and solve this? I might finish that quadrant by asking, how important is this compared to other things on your plate? See, that's the distinction between impact and importance. They could simply reply, oh, this is the number one most important thing for me. To shift our discussion to results, I ask, so just because I come in and work with your team doesn't mean we're successful. How would we know if we're successful 6 months down the road? What could we measure together? Well, if our close rates were shorter, if our average deal size was bigger, if our overall revenue numbers grow, and once again, I want to get specific, so I might press for more details about specific numbers. To ensure we get the right people involved, we shift to the lower right quadrant of others impacted. Who else would have an opinion about how we measure that impact and how we're planning to measure the results? Who's likely to chime in the 11th hour who we haven't spoken to before? As I go through that, names are going to come up. Then I might just ask the person, so what do you think our next step should be? They'll often say, well, we should probably have a discussion with those other people. And that's when we simply enter the next steps in that lower right quadrant at the bottom to make sure that we don't miss that follow-up step. If you have questions or comments, just drop me a note to ian@ianaltman.com, and I look forward to hearing about your success with the same-side quadrant journal.